Catch your bus.
How you doing, driver? Not so good on the water.
Where'd they go?
The garage.
Check the house! Go, go, go!
The film opens with Frank appearing in his car garage, preparing to drive out.
Would you rather be late or dead?
Woo! Let's go, fellas!
Your parents know the kind of company you're keeping?
Shut up.
This shit ain't working, man.
It's coded.
After the girl fled, Frank realized he was late, so he sped off and arrived at the school at the last moment to pick up the child, Jack, for whom he serves as a private chauffeur. Frank kept Jack entertained with riddles until they reached home, where he found Jack's parents, Jeff and Audrey, in a heated argument. To shield the boy, Frank stalled him with one final riddle until the tension subsided.
Thank you for turning the car around so that Jack wouldn't have to see us fighting.
What it's worth, I think you're doing a great job with Jack. Mama can be of help. There's anything you need.
Audrey asked Frank to take Jack to his doctor's appointment the next day so she could prepare for his birthday. Frank agreed, mentioning he had to pick up a friend from the airport later. Unbeknownst to them, a hidden eavesdropping device recorded their entire conversation.
Yeah, hello?
Confirm for tomorrow.
We change. The driver be taken in, not the mother.
Meanwhile, a dangerous criminal named Johnny prepared a group of men with two suitcases, one holding a deadly virus and the other its antidote. He informed his crew that the boy would be at the clinic tomorrow, not with his parents, but with his chauffeur. In the morning, Johnny's men arrived at the clinic ahead of Frank, killing the doctor and nurse to take their places. Despite their disguises, their appearance was unsettling. When Frank and Jack arrived, they were greeted by the imposter nurse.
Now, if you'll just take him into room 3.
I'm Dr. Tyburg. Come, I show you something very cool.
At this moment, Frank received a call from Detective Tarconi, who had arrived from France to visit him. But Frank noticed something strange on the nurse's uniform, and while speaking, he saw a massive man exiting the doctor's room, wearing the lab coat of the doctor who was supposedly sick and absent. At this point, Frank confirmed that something was wrong. Frank successfully left the room, but in the garage, one of the gang members planted a bomb beneath Frank's car. Jack and Frank got into the car and drove away from the location. Before they could enter the gate, Frank received a call from Johnny, the gang leader, who warned him that he would kill the child if he moved. A police car arrived behind Frank, but Lola, one of the gang members, stepped out of it. Johnny ordered Frank to take Lola with them and move immediately. Frank was forced to obey Lola's command and drove away. Before he could leave the estate, the police began pursuing him from behind.
Let's go.
Meanwhile, Jeff accused Frank of being responsible for everything that was happening, fueled by his jealousy of Audrey's admiration and trust in him. Frank arrived at the location specified by Lola, where he was met by Johnny. Johnny informs Jeff that his son is under his control and demands a $5 million ransom to be delivered within 2 hours to Bayfront Park. If the 2 hours expire, a part of the child's body will arrive every 10 minutes. Johnny hangs up, and an emotional Audrey collapses. Johnny takes the child and places him on a speedboat to make his escape. He then orders Frank to leave immediately at gunpoint so that he can detonate the bomb he had planted beneath the car to eliminate him.
Now.
Frank calls Tarconi and orders him to leave the house immediately. Soon, Tarconi finds himself in a confrontation with the police. Audrey receives a call from Frank, who asserts his innocence and explains that the situation is far more critical than a mere kidnapping. Meanwhile, Frank returns to the clinic where Jack was nearly abducted. Jeff arrives at the park with the money bag under police surveillance and places it in the designated car. At the police station, Tarconi receives a call from Frank, asking him to use a computer at the station. Frank sends a photo of the man disguised as a doctor, and Tarconi's search reveals him to be a Russian virologist named Dmitry, located in Miami Park West. Frank quickly arrives at the address to find Dmitry packing his belongings, preparing to escape.
Catch your bus.
What are you doing, driver? Not so good on the water.
Frank restrains Dmitry and interrogates him about the substance in the syringe. When Dmitry refuses to answer, Frank injects him with the syringe he has, which is filled only with saline solution. Overcome with intense panic and fear, Dmitry ties a belt around his leg and flees, with Frank in hot pursuit. Meanwhile, the police inform Jeff that the money is in place but has not been retrieved, leading Audrey to realize that this is more than just a kidnapping. Shortly thereafter, a new car arrives at the money drop-off location. The police prepare a robot to open the car, fearing an explosion, but Audrey screams, terrified that Jack might suffocate inside. She bravely runs toward the car and opens the door. She finds her son inside, and she and Jeff embrace him. The scene returns to Frank and Dmitry, who arrive at an old warehouse. Dmitry reaches a doctor at the warehouse and demands the antidote, but Frank storms the place, revealing to Dmitry that he only injected him with saline solution. Frank preempts Dmitry and shoots him, causing him to fall. The terrified doctor reveals that the virus is genetically modified and lethal, spreading through respiration. The doctor then throws the remaining antidote out of the window. Frank dives after it, crashing onto the cars below. One vial shatters, but Frank successfully retrieves the other. Frank went to Audrey and told her the truth about the lethal viral disease, explaining that the goal was to eliminate Jeff and anyone he infected. He informed her that he would retrieve a second dose of the antidote for everyone, then administered an injection to Jack. As he prepared to leave, he found the police officers surrounding and confronting him. Audrey tries to call Jeff and asks him not to enter the conference because of the virus, but he interrupts her, saying he cannot hear her, and hangs up, announcing his entry. Frank calls Tarconi and asks him to return to the computer. Tarconi informs him that he discovered Johnny was involved in a previous hostage-taking operation at the OPEC conference in Geneva, and that his address is in Miami. Frank arrives at Johnny's location where the criminal was injecting himself with the antidote to smuggle it inside his body.
Where'd they go?
The garage.
Check the house! Go, go, go!
When Frank arrived, he found that Johnny had finished injecting the entire antidote. Johnny told him he was too late and that the cure was now inside his body. During their conversation, Lola intervenes with her guns to cover Johnny's escape aboard his helicopter. Frank gets into one of Johnny's fast cars and pursues the helicopter at a breakneck speed. Johnny reaches a jet he intends to use for his escape to Colombia, but Frank catches up to the plane with his car. The pursuit until he slams the car into the plane's wheel, causing the wheel to explode. Amidst the explosion, Frank successfully manages to enter the aircraft.
Have a seat.
Frank locates Johnny in the water, secures him with a life jacket, and brings him to the surface, needing him alive for the antidote inside his body. As soon as they surface, they find the police surrounding them in boats, and Johnny is arrested. Following the incident, Frank goes to the hospital with a bouquet of roses to visit Audrey. However, upon seeing her, her husband, and their child laughing and enjoying a happy, peaceful moment, Frank decides not to interrupt the scene. He quietly retreats, then proceeds to drive Tarconi to the airport so the detective can return to his country. We hope you enjoyed this summary. Please subscribe, like the video, and leave your comments below. We'll see you soon with more action-packed movie summaries.